crib. In case you guys hadn't read the forums, there's going to be a significant change, or there has been a significant change in the price structure of the Forsaken mission. We've seen all the prices of the top end stuff go up 10 times, and a new target introduced. We're going to have Jeff and Ben walk through the targets, so we'll explain the differences between their two builds beforehand. But again, neither one have hit the target yet because it just came out. But it might give you a little tour of it, and we'll see if there's any distinct differences that we can see. We're all seeing this all, for the first time, as you are. So let me introduce everybody from top to bottom. Lady Cat.
Hello.
Aussie.
Good morning.
Magic Mike.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, he's here this time.
Yep.
And Jeff.
Be right back.
He's regular like clockwork. That man of useful just kicks in at 7 o'clock. Right? And Ben.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy, howdy. So let's get started with the slides. Let's go to bug fixes, Lady Cat. All right. This is was one of the quote-unquote exploits, glitches associated with the shipwrecks, where if the player that was defending the shipwreck, it's not very specific here, but I got clarification on it. The person defending the shipwreck, if they were immediately attacked again, they were not allowed to enter it. Supposedly that's been fixed. So I know Jordy, who's in the audience, has run across this before. And
Yep.
and,
I have to. It's annoying as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So that supposedly has been remedied. There's a few other bug fixes they've sort of worked in through the briefing, but they didn't call them out as bug fixes. So anything on this one? Anybody? Okay, well, let's move on. We don't have any new updates as far as what's going on with the calendar. We do have 4 TLCs this week. They're all repeats, so we're not really going to call them out individually. They're mostly for upgrades for Conqueror Halls, and there's another one for older Turrets of Terror, which is mostly for older stuff, older turrets. And there are, if you get through all of it, there is 2 days of build tokens. Aussie, is that you?
Sorry.
Okay.
The build tokens though don't stack, right?
At one point, they would stack in a different category than what you got from the FM. But last time I did this one, they stacked somewhere else. So I stopped. I have a category that I have like 3 out of 200, and then I have another one that's 2 out of 2. And at one point, they were stacking in that 3 out of 200, and then they stopped after an update. I don't know currently where those ones are going. So, because I haven't done it yet because they just started. But there was a point in time where they stacked elsewhere, but no guarantees as far as where those are going at this point. So, yeah, if you're personally, I'm planning to go through all 4 levels in order to get 2 days worth of build tokens that may or may not stack with what I already have. But it might be helpful for people that need build tokens for the here and now. So, but it's a lot of work just to get that. And then, so this week we're going to have a VXP mission, or VXP weekend, where we should get a sneak preview of some version of the new Dragoon target. I forgot to put a VXP weekend slide together. Starts Friday. Because there was pretty much nothing there. It starts Friday. I think the high-end targets are going to last the whole time. They didn't specify that they were going to run 24 as they used to at one point. and 36, and now it appears that they run all weekend. So, go ahead.
I said, yay.
Yeah. And I hope some of the people that never built Saturns, the timing worked out awfully as regards to the shows, but the people that never built Saturns did those DLCs that just ended. I'm sorry if I didn't. I posted it on certain pages because I had a lot of upgrade tokens for your Saturns if you didn't have them before. Personally, I wouldn't recommend if you already have a fleet that's at U3. I would just save them for resources and whatnot. There's probably not a real reason to go through the time and effort to have 3 upgraded fleets. So, and then the following week will be Bounty. So, any thoughts on the calendar?
We're going to have 3 FMs, so we can probably figure out what date the September is.
After this past, I didn't even put that up. After this past raid, I didn't jump to that assumption.
Okay, it's probably good.
Yes.
Good idea.
Yes, we are having 3 FMs, and we'll get a little bit more into that. So, right, if not much else on the calendar, we can talk a little bit about what everybody thought about the raid.
Meh.
Well, you did your own raid. You did your own type of raid, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never could figure out how to drive that doggone target the right way.
Which one?
The 900,
No, 100 wasn't a problem. It was the 116, 118.
didn't it?
Probably was the
Oh, okay.
those. I could not get them without. I can make an excuse, but I won't. But I kept getting hit by a torp and never saw it coming. And I just couldn't remember it each time.
Yeah.
So the excuse was too much dragon
No,
smoke?
the excuse is I have a problem with one of my eyes and I'm not seeing good.
Well, let's have a patch on it and do those targets right.
That might help. I don't know.
Yeah.
The
I'm not recommend that.
116 was hard for me too, Mike. The 118.
The 118, I had a bitch of a time. 116 was no
Yeah,
good.
sometimes I could do that 118 for instant repair in the dock, and then other times it was a couple of minutes of repair each ship in the dock.
I never did either one for less than an hour. Never. Not one time.
Did you do any of the 900s?
I guess we should have compared notes, said the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, the 116 was kicking my butt every time.
Yeah, that was hard for me.
Yeah.
And the 900s, it got, by the end, the 900 was, I could do it for about a half-hour damage.
Huh.
The 900 for a half an hour damage?
Yeah, but I
Okay.
wouldn't get the whole 1.8 million with that.
Okay.
I had to wait till the end.
Okay.
Once I learned kind of a pattern on how to avoid those 2 gluts hitting at the same time, then I could do pretty good.
Okay.
But sometimes I'd screw up and it'd be an hour.
My issue was I could not do the 900s, even though I tried, because by the time I got loaded into the target, my fleet was half dead. It was the only target I had the loading lag in. All the rest were fine.
Okay, so you got hit by the gluts because your ships went on auto and went straight up instead of high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever try to hit while you were on the loading screen to hit the down button?
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay, just checking.
And my wife, she'd load into them no problem. And in theory, my computer's better than hers.
Did you try using her computer with your account?
No.
Might try that next time just to narrow it down to whether it's a computer problem or an account problem.
Yeah.
Or OE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems hard that operator error will be in play at this point. But yeah, I didn't really deal with the 900s. I did the 116s and the 118s, and I was able to get them both down less than a half an hour on a regular basis. Especially the 118, but the 116 sometimes would creep up to be like 35 minutes. So it was, it was a couple of minutes in the dock. So it wasn't that bad for me. I'm still just, I got 26 million unspent because I'm not looking forward to the claiming of the upgrade kits, and I'm sure I got to do other stuff, and hopefully they'll change that for future raids that have such prizes.
That was a pain.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
What I'd like to see them do for the listing of the prizes, is like they did in Pillage, where on the site they had the featured items, then say Conqueror stuff, base stuff, tokens, and so on.
Yeah, that was a great way to do the prizes. This was terrible. Did you notice they were missing one of the genres of ships, the interceptors? You could click across the top for every other type of ship, but you couldn't get straight to the interceptors, which I thought was odd. They were missing that. But I agree, it'd be nice to be able to go straight to base tech or PvP tech or PvE tech or tokens.
Or even have something where you could put start typing and everything pops up related to something. Yeah, it will look good.
Did you find when you were claiming the tokens for the those 40 tokens, whatever they were for? Did you find
Dragon?
Yeah, the kits. Yeah. Did you find that, because when I was doing it, I was clicking on it, redeeming it, and then it would scroll back to the top, and then have to scroll all the way back down, find it again.
Talking about he doesn't want to have.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah.
That's my complaint. That's why I still
that was a pain in the ass, that.
Yeah. That's why I'm almost tempted to spend on everything else, let the redemption store wear out, and then file a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
when is that many?
I forgot to spend these points, and can I have 40 of the upgrade kits? I have just enough for that.
Just out of spite.
When there's that many, when there's that many of an item, why can't they have it? You can type in how many you want. A little box.
That would be
drop
nice.
down. 40 of these.
Yeah, or
instead of going through one at a time.
Or add in, if that's a problem,
redeem all.
Create 3 different prizes: 10 kits, 5 kits, 1 kit.
Or redeem all.
Yeah.
If there's 40 of them, you got a choice of one at a time or all of them.
Yeah.
But I think, typing in, if there's 40 there and you only want 30, you type in 30 and that's how many you get.
Yeah.
But
that's sort of a new mechanism. That's why I went with the 10, 5, 1.
Yeah.
It does add 2 more prizes, but they weren't worried about how many prizes they put out. But I'm just saying, as far as it might be easier than forcing them to create a new program something that's sort of a new mechanism inside of that.
Yeah. But I mean, there was 2 different types of that as well, though, wasn't there? There was that, and there was the weapon. So there's 2 things you're doing one at a time. So that's 60 times you got to click to get each one. That's just ridiculous.
Click and find. Yeah.
Yeah, click and find it, and then scroll. Click it again and find it again.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But on other items, you'll click on it. There's 5 items, right? You click on it to redeem it, and then it goes to another pop-up, you know, and all you got to do is redeem it, put okay, you want it, right, and then you continue, and it's still there on the screen, right? You go to the bottom of the screen, click redeem again.
That's how most of them are, but they
but when they do these 40 ones, it's ridiculous.
Well, what they did is they made a recent change. I can't remember if it was in last raid or just this raid, where if you notice how they listed the prizes, they were listed as blueprint, limited, and currency. The blueprint ones, you just bought it. Limited is what you're talking about there, Aussie. It would stay, and you had it would stay there. Currency, it would pop back up to the top, and you had to go find it again. I'm assuming that's an error at some point, because it was the currency ones that were providing that error, or not error, but inconvenience, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't do it all in one go, all the same. Why have different things?
Yeah. So, as far as these targets, we assume these targets are at some point going to show up in pillage, TLCs, and whatnot. Is there lessons learned that people can, move forward, in the future? As far as, is there anything that you like, that, it could be just a repeat of what we talked about on Friday, where I'm like, avoid the smart torpedoes, use the land to hide from getting hit by torpedoes, avoid the berserking subs, realize where you are on the map, and it takes a little practice, but try and figure out how to use your UAVs to group them up so you're taking advantage of your splash damage. And one of the ways to avoid the berserking subs is start to realize when you're going to kill one of the ones, and sort of hit and move, once you're about to kill one, so you can create a little space before the berserking ones come after you. Is there anything? And I use the suppressors on the 116 to take out the gluts, to make life, at least make it much more consistent as far as my driving, and not have to worry about them. I don't know. Any other?
The only thing that I can think of is that, because I did use the land, but there's some low level, there's some swamps out there. Yeah, and the star torpedoes were able to go through some of the land. So you not only have to use it, you have to figure out which land is the good land and which land is the bad land. Because you can't tell by looking at it. There's just sometimes the torpedoes could go through and other places they couldn't. Yeah,
that we also saw that in the newish targets at the end of the assault raid, where the fog. Sometimes the fog's the fog, and sometimes the fog's not the fog.
Right. So we had the same thing with land, and we had the same thing with mountains. Sometimes a mountain's a mountain, and sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
So watch your angles. Watch your. There's some things that just take practice, though. You have to practice at it to figure it out, because you can't tell graphically that it's there.
Yeah, and it seems that Cuttlefish feels bad for you.
He feels bad for me. What I miss.
I feel bad for those that upgraded suppressors.
Oh yeah, I had to spend coin on this raid because I had to get my damn suppressor out just so that I could get to my Skyfires to put the new guns on. I was a day late just starting the raid because my suppressor was going. And I would have been 2 days late starting the raid, but I coined one of the days. And then 5 minutes after I coined it, they had a deal. Which it really wasn't cheaper by then, but why couldn't they have offered that deal like 2 days ago?
They know when to do it.
They knew to wait till I had spent. So, yeah. Okay. I upgraded my suppressor for absolutely nothing. Here I thought I did good, and you guys are all going to be crawling to me, asking me for my help, because I was the only one that upgraded a suppressor. But no. Now I'm walking the walk of shame now.
Right. Do we have anything else on Fly By Night, or should we get on to the FM?
It's history.
Alrighty. All right. It's some interesting. This is part of the notes for the Forsaken mission. A new Praetorian target. Bring your fully ranked Praetorian fleet plus flagship and test your skill and strength. Are we going to be hitting one of those little things that, with the hammer and then it rings the bell? And I have no idea what's going on there.
That means get out your plastic cards.
Yeah. Yes. For your chance to earn a massive point payout. And that's true. Well, it's a massive point payout, but I'm not sure about where strength is involved. Even though I know that Lady Cat at times gets shoulder soreness from hitting the raid targets. But and they've released 3 new armors, 1 for garrison, 2 for siege. They are costly, as we will talk about in a minute. But the new 131, which we're going to have Ben and Jeff hit later, is just a walkthrough, not as a how-to. And yeah, and they give a lot more points, which we'll get into. And the 125, we fixed a property error that resulted in the turret armor and mortar targeting not working correctly. Players will find turrets more appropriately challenging.
That's what we wanted.
Yes, I didn't feel appropriately challenged.
I love their choice of words.
Yeah, turrets are harder to take down, and mortars do damage when players are within hit range. So, whatever. So they dropped the bomb on us with the massive increase in cost, and then we realized all the FM targets before were sort of broken.
No, they just weren't appropriately challenging.
Yes. Well, no, they fixed a property error, so now they own it. But they actually said they made an error. So, and then there's another one. Projectile art is changing to more accurately reflect the weapon types. Rockets will look more like rockets, missiles like missiles. It wasn't just, I found this out, but I didn't really talk about it that much because it was just ridiculous. The fact that this was going on more with the pillage targets, where you had all this stuff that looked like vulture missiles, shooting down stuff that looked like missiles, but some of those missiles were actually rockets. And that's why when we saw how well Ben was doing, that had rockets countermeasures, because they were firing rockets at us and they just looked like missiles. I mean, that was, I didn't even know what to say about that. I'm like, how can you guys do this? You're putting rockets that, they're doing pen damage. They look like vulture missiles, and they're firing missiles, but they're actually rockets. That's why some of the people had a much harder time than others that didn't have sprints around, because they were rockets. And I don't even know what to say about that. I was like, I didn't even bring it up on the show because it was already over by the time I figured it out. And I was hoping they would figure it out and change it. And it appears that they are changing it. So, yeah.
So it should now look like what it is and not be a copycat of something else.
Yeah.
Is it safe to refit now then?
Well, that's what we don't know.
We need to look at the targets now. Now we can see the targets and see what they actually are.
But they might change them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's always that.
Yeah. And this is speaking of the 131. At first glance, the new target may look like something you've seen before. But don't be fooled. The challenging target requires more firepower and skilled approach to avoid taking unnecessary damage. Approach boldly and earn 10 million event points on successful completion of the 131. So I read into this. Take advantage of the little frenzy from hitting the. I guess I should have brought slides of the Praetorian special abilities, but the frenzy that gets, once you kill something, you have a couple seconds where you're doubling your damage, and then the tortoise formation. And I think we're going to highlight the tortoise formation, I think, when both Jeff and Ben hit these targets, because as we've done this before, we'll show that the mountains are your enemies, and you can trigger this and all the bonuses associated with the tortoise formation that you see associated with your Praetorian fleet just by being close to mountains. So by being close to 3 targets within a range of 50 provides a lot of survivability and whatnot. So
Too bad they don't fall in the ocean with an avalanche or something when you hit them.
yes.
They're the enemy after all.
Yeah, it could happen. If you fire into them, an avalanche could happen. That's always possible.
That would be kind of cool. An avalanche,
especially if you could use that against enemy ships, enemy ships and turrets that were firing into it, and then their explosion caused a landslide on them. Yeah,
no, it's more likely that they will give you concussive damage from the rounds.
Okay. Anything else on this slide?
No.
All right. Okay. What everybody's been waiting for, the new Legion Barracks 131. 10 million event points. Besides that, not really any change from... I just listed the high-level targets. The older targets are still there. But everybody's favorite, the 120, I think it's 16.6 120s to equal 131. So
I did a calculation. If you want to get all the new armors plus all your ship build tokens, it's and you're only hitting 120s, 420 120s.
Holy
all.
crap.
That's all.
Exactly 420? Did they do that intentionally?
So think about the people that can't hit even the 120s yet.
No, but
Yeah.
I think you missed. Well, I'm not sure if 420 is a thing in Australia, but I think the rest. Well, Mike probably doesn't know, but
I don't either.
Thank you so much.
well, okay. What does 420 mean?
I have no idea.
Okay.
420 is a
I
date.
was right. No,
April 20th.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think people in the viewing audience know what it means, but if it was exactly 420, that would be hilarious. Was it exactly 420, Rossi?
I don't know now. Do I need to answer that? I don't know what it means.
Okay.
But yes, it is.
Okay. Wow. That is impressive, and I do feel that's intentional.
But then, of course, to get these ship, like the 2-day ship build token, the elite one, you've got to buy something else to get it.
Well,
So it's actually going to be more.
buying one of the new armors should be able to unlock.
No, but in tier 4, for instance, the elite token, you have to buy a Gale or something else to get it. So that's another 600 points if you're going to get a Gale. And with the 1-day ship build token, you've got to buy something else to go unlock that if you haven't got everything.
Okay, just so you know, 420 has to do with pot.
Oh, okay.
Googled it. So
I was going to say, you just looked that up.
Yeah, it's a date. It's
No.
a date.
no, it's a time.
Okay.
But anyway,
I'm going
So-
away. Okay, bye.
some of us don't know the culture. Anyway,
At my age, I should know.
okay. Well,
Oh, dear.
somebody will find it funny.
I do.
Did we lose Hape?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have taken a screenshot of the that target. I haven't hit it. I just went in it and took a screenshot of it. If
Okay.
you want me to
Well, in a minute, we're going to have, Jeff and Ben,
Chicken soup.
Jeff's, every week we sacrifice them in some way or another.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
did
The
you see
sacrificial
what
lamb.
Did you
Yeah.
see what Cuddle just said?
But Fang Thieves made it in, cleared out all the ships clean and safe. This one?
In the 131, yeah.
For
For the 131, it allowed his Painters. He went in and cleared the ships out.
Okay.
Yeah.
testing purposes, I'm not clearing the fleet out. I'm just going in and blowing shit up.
All right. There we go.
Probably my fleet, but
How do you do that, Hefe?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Put Cuddlefish's comment up there.
I'm magic.
No, Mike is magic. You're something else.
Okay. Well, we'll just leave it at that. What should we do? Is everybody ready to Jeff or Ben? Are you ready to hit one of these targets?
Yeah, got one primed and ready.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put. You're gonna screen share, and I will present you. And Lady Cat, keep that up because we might be switching back after
Okay. I promise not to go check my email or anything.
Okay. I might, but yeah.
no disrespect. I'm not even going to watch Jeff's because I want to see it.
Okay. Well, because what we were trying to do is compare the differences of the sprints. I don't have a problem with you watching it. It's the difference between the sprints and the MDS3s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have Jeff on. We're watching you, Jeff.
You're squeaky. You're squeaking.
Oh yeah, the chair. It definitely needs some oil. Or is that my knees? I'm not sure. No, they. Watch it crash.
Yeah. I was going to say you should have refreshed.
Yeah. Oops. I just stopped sharing, didn't I?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might have wanted to hide that.
Yeah. For now. Well,
Are you in full screen?
not yet.
Okay. All right.
I'll wait for these. Oh, no, the ship's turned around. I scared them.
Yeah. Okay.
Come around the mountains. Since the mountains are my enemy and my friend at the same time.
Yeah. See, as he gets close to within range of 50, the three mountains. See the pink. Okay. Now what are you doing? See the pink icon that pops up above them? That means the tortoise formation has been enabled. Now he's out of the range of 50. I think it's 50 of the three mountains. It's gone away. Okay. Now it's okay. So he's only got two targets here.
Keep in mind that the YouTube people are watching 15 seconds behind.
It doesn't matter because our speech is 15 seconds behind too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
Okay.
Well, I guess it matters to me because I'm listening to you live and I'm watching you 15 seconds later.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, you're watching on YouTube? Why are you watching on YouTube and not on the other thing?
Because you told me to stay on the slide.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
You followed the boss man's instructions and look what happened.
Okay. I was a little confused there. Okay. It's all good.
Never mind.
Okay. I'm sorry. Well, we see the. Sorry, I was a little distracted as far as the pattern on the monolith. So they're just going back and forth.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're
Yeah.
not chasing me for sure.
Yeah, and as Cuttlefish said earlier, he can go in with the fang tooth and take those out. Which we're not certain how much damage they're doing, but
I'm definitely doing this. The brute force method, go right through the middle of things here. That's great dragging.
Well, at this point, with the specials, besides with the specials associated with this, special abilities, it seems like you're supposed to go through it brute force because of fast in order to keep your frenzy up, and close to get the tortoise formation.
Well, I'm just the man for the job then. I
Yeah.
have no finesse when it comes to driving.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty. Lots of targets dying all at once.
Wow.
Pretty fireworks.
Like matchsticks. You light one and boom, boom, boom.
Taking an awful lot of damage. I'm not sure what's doing it though. All those red bars make it hard to see what you're shooting at.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and we do want to see your. Okay, so you took mostly penetrative damage, and that piece seems to be the majority of it. But you still took. You're gonna have to. At least I can't read the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. Could you read the amounts out loud?
Yeah. Explosive, 17% resisted,
Mm-hmm.
6% taken, 0 evaded.
Mm-hmm.
Penetrative, 19% evaded, 45% resisted, and 14% taken.
Okay.
So I only took, if I read this right, 14% penetrative. That's all the damage. Right?
And 14% penetrative, and how much explosive?
No, it didn't look like I took any explosive damage.
No, the big red on the explosive. I can't see it, but the big red bar.
6%.
Okay, 6 and 19. So you took 3 times the penetrative damage to explosive. A little over 3 times.
6 and 14
versus 19. Oh, 6 and 14 or 6 and 19?
Yeah. The red, I got the colors mixed up. It's 6 for taken on explosive and 14% on penetrative.
Okay, so it's a little over twice. Okay. Yeah, because for some reason I can't read that. So that's why I had you read it out loud. So, all right, so 6 and 14 and a total damage bill of. I can't read it.
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says instant repair 6. I'll cancel out of this since I'm not going to instant repair.
Is it 2 hours? Yeah, for some reason I can't read your.
3 hours damage.
Okay, 3 hours. Okay.
So that means the sprints are going to save a lot of trouble.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, I'm going to go to you, Ben, if you want to screen share and see if anything looks different. And thank you, Jeff.
Welcome.
All right, is it on?
No, I see Jeff's screen. I see Lady Cat's screen. I don't see Ben's screen.
Oh.
Let's see if anything changed. No.
All right,
There we go. There we go. Yes.
Now,
I think Ben's aspect ratio will be fine later in the actual target. We talked about it last week. He's
my monitor.
he's got a 12-inch monitor that he had to have 3 people move into the house because of the large wooden case that it's encapsulated in.
Hey, but
1953.
It's got the record player and 8-track in it.
Yeah. I don't even think the 8-track was even invented yet. It might just be the 33 that you put on top and the 45s.
All right, reel to reel.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, reel would be nice. So. But basically, people are getting a little hint as far as one of the sort of the way the target's working. Is what I'm hoping out of this. And Callie's saying that strikes are doable. I'm assuming probably for the whole thing, yeah. As far as aiming over the mountains. Or launching B-rads.
It's not a bad idea, strikes.
Yeah. Or the people that have the launcher E-rads.
Well, then lower players do it with bangs and strikes or bangs and they're not going to launch our E-rads.
Wonder if the ships are worth enough points that they can get a lot of stuff just by doing that. Period.
I'm actually got my fangs in there at the moment. I was just testing that, see how many points you get for just the ships.
And what'd you find out?
Don't know. I'm still in there.
Okay.
It's taking forever.
It's gonna make a lot of people very angry if there's a lot of points in their ships, because they're gonna hate to go find those targets that have already been pillaged and plundered.
And also, like, it's got 3 of the old Rhino type ships in there that have sonar or thermal. But even after killing those, they can still see me. They're firing at me, but nothing can hurt me.
Right.
Everything.
Okay.
Every turret, every ship is firing at me, at my submerged subs. So I don't know what can see me.
So they may fix that once they figure it out.
My driving
You have that target.
in here.
You what?
My driving
What about it?
sucks.
Okay. Well,
That's only because we're watching.
Yeah.
Except for the way these fleets are built with their special abilities, it just appears that you're supposed to drive like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I see it.
In other words, it's fixed damage.
Well, you get your bonuses for, odd things. So it's, I don't know, getting targets too close and whatnot. So what was your...
I'm waiting on the pop-up.
Okay.
Not going to get the pop-up.
Huh. I don't know why you didn't. That's odd.
Yeah.
Repair is...
3 hours, 27 minutes.
Okay.
Well, that's more than me. What happened there?
Concentrated mainly on one ship,
Yeah.
which is a sign of pen damage or accuracy-based damage.
Yeah.
And yours was more even, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have that one ship damaged like that.
Yeah.
So does this mean the MDSs are going to be better than the sprints?
I don't know. I wish we had got the pop-up that showed compared the damages.
There's supposed to be a way to pull that up.
Not afterwards. It'd be nice.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
All
now go ahead.
Yeah, with those ships, it's only 52,997 points.
Okay.
Okay, so not.
And it took me like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not really worth it. I'm just doing it as a test, just to see what
No,
yeah.
it makes sense.
Well, that's good. So if somebody does plunder their ships out from under us, then they're not taking away a lot.
No, just the round number. And maybe the round number is probably, screwed up anyway.
Yeah, well, it says 997. I mean, it couldn't have rounded that to 53, could they? No. It has to be 52,997.
Mm-hmm.
So it like screws everybody up.
Yeah, but I wonder if taking the ships out in that, if they have that bug like they do in the 120s and that, where you take the ships out.
And you get more points?
Yeah.
And you still get all the points, yeah. Well, that's possible. Yeah.
Whether that's a bug or not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So undocumented features is what I'd like to call it. So now that we've reviewed the 131 with Ben and Jeff, and thank you very much, both of you, and then Aussie's intel associated with the ship value, and Cuttlefish with giving us that test.
Someone's hitting the 131 with Silverfish. That's interesting.
Take out the ships or the whole.
I really don't know, but they're not doing very well. They're nearly dead.
All right. A little Darwinian thing going on there in Aussie sector.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I thought I'd have a look because I thought this is going to be interesting. But no, it's not interesting.
Yeah.
So don't use Silverfish.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. What do you got? All right. These are 3 new prizes, as we told you before. 25 million each, up from 2.5 million. So we get 10 claims at 25 million. So 250 million just for the 3 armors. And as Aussie told us earlier, 420, 120s. So, and we're going to have to investigate if that was intentional. And I'll tell you, and those that don't know what that means in the after show.
So 25, you'd have to hit 25 new targets to get the new armors. Is that right?
They're 10,000. Yeah, so it'd be 250. Yeah, 10 million. Yeah, so 25. Yes.
Okay.
I think. Well, plus all the other points you needed, but you would have
Right.
probably everything else would be accounted for.
But 10 new targets, and you can get the new prizes.
Yeah.
So, and you have a week to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do 1 or 2 in the morning and 1 or 2 at night, it's doable.
Yeah. As long as Mike can find the button, we're all good. So let's go to the next slide.
I'm using a different computer, as you know, so I'm going to hit that 131 with my fleet to see if you get what points you get. But I'm on a different computer, so I can't share it.
Okay.
Just to see if we get the full amount of points or not.
Okay. Well, here is our the Zintian Isotope Armor ZX1. It's a whole different class of armor than we've seen before. This is intended probably mostly to go on your Praetorians, but you could probably slap them on your Silverfish as well and make them quite nasty to explosive. They don't cover concussive, but Praetorian is probably the where they're going to go with them. And I don't know if we're going to get a pen one as well. So we'll see. But again, this one only has, I forget, it's 4. You can redeem 2 of these. And then the next one, you can redeem 4.
Shall we go to the next one?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay. And I've compared this to the Folded Ferrite, which is our combo armor. So we have 5,000 ballistic survival, which is huge, and 720 for our Folded Ferrite. Folded Ferrite weighs more, but you need 7 Folded Ferrites in regards to ballistic survival to equal one of these.
So start grinding out that FM.
Yes, basically. And then click one more time. Same story for Radioactive. So basically, I don't really see a reason to put the Folded Ferrite on if I can earn these. Because combined, you're going to, if you can equip your ship and your ship's going to be lighter, with these ones, it's going to be 3.5 times the survival of the folded ferrite. So I just don't like the way. Not a fan of the way that this was rolled out. Brand new targets, explaining like, oh well, we did some stuff in the old targets that you really, we messed up on, and now it's getting in the way of our timeline, or us trying to achieve a good build on the Dragoon, and this is getting in the way. Because obviously the folded ferret is not the way to go.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep. Yeah, you get the full 10 million points.
Okay. Even if the ships are gone. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the armor can be refitted on old ships and crush stuff. Yeah, that's what I was saying as far as yeah, yeah, you could toss them. I don't know, as far as what's the weight of the Manticore armor. That always be funny, because survival is like on tier 8. Survival goes into your sort of fake armor pool. It's the 5,000 we divided by 64, but with the Manticore it gets divided by 32. So you would actually have twice as much impact from this armor on a Manticore than you would. Wait, Manticore is assault. I'm sorry. What's the one I'm looking for? Oh, Hydras. I'm sorry. I meant to say Hydras, but I don't know if the weight would work, but yes. So, I don't know. Anybody else have any?
I don't know. I'm glad that we're getting it, but
The question is, do we need it? I was waiting for these. We don't know if we need armor anymore. It wasn't making a big difference on some things.
Well, yeah, we talked about that last week. Did we need armor at all?
Well, that's because the armor was so ineffectual. Now
they've bumped it up so that it becomes effective finally.
I guess that's what we need to test. I mean, that's the way it sort of looks. That now they've looked at it and like, oh, everybody complains armor's not doing crap. Maybe we should do something about that. And maybe that's what they're doing here at this point.
And I wasn't just thinking about the Dragoons. Like, is there any point on the Praetorians of putting the X armor on it, like now? I mean, since you can hit these big targets and kill them, is there any point in refitting the Praetorians?
With the what, D6X?
Yeah, with one of the two heavy, better armors. Not these ones, not the cannon, or not the Dragoon ones, but isn't
the D6X or the D7M?
Yeah.
That's not me typing either, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's Jeff. Is that you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how I'm figuring it out, but yeah, I can figure out the loud typers. But I personally, at this point, those are the D6X takes 1 day, 6 hours, 1 day, 3 hours, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's a long time to get a minimal impact as far as your Praetorians go. So I would probably stick it out without using those armors and wait to put one of these on. As I recall, the build time is somewhere around 12 hours for these armors. And who knows how effectual the other ones are, because you see this 100,000, 150,000, but then you look at the ships and they have, 50 million armor. So the armor is not mattering much. And what we've seen historically, the survival numbers don't seem to matter much. So I personally, I'm not going to, at this point, go in and add stuff, add some of the older armors. I think these new armors are pretty much been shown, pretty much are going to be the only way to go. And we don't even know if they're effective at this point in time.
that was something I wanted to ask Jeff. Are your Praetorians armored at all?
No, zip. There's no armor on any of them.
Okay, same as mine then.
How much damage did you get?
What was it?
Jeff got around 3 hours. I got just under 3.5 hours.
Okay, I took 2.5, but all my ships have M armor on them. They have, hang on, have a look. A couple of them have only 2 D6Ms, or they all have 2 D6Ms. 1, 2.
Well, that answers my question about whether it's useful or not.
4.
Well, it could be other different.
A couple have, and all of them have 2 D7Ms, and I think one has 4 D7Ms. 3 D7Ms, actually, not 4. And the one that took most of the damage was number 5, and that's got 2 D6Ms and 2 7Ms on them. And that was 2.5 hours overall. And yeah, most of it still showed up as, or pretty much most, 3/4 of the damage was penetrative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yours was 3/4 was penetrative, and then, as I recall, with Jeff's hit, it was 6% explosive and 14% penetrative. So his was a little less than that.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't look at the amount. I'm just remembering on the it had a lot more penetrative than explosive. I didn't take a look at the percentages.
Okay. All right.
But if I had to surmise, out of 100%, it would have been 75% penetrative, 25% explosive.
What antis are you running?
Sorry, what?
What antis are you running?
What countermeasures?
Oh, counters. I went sprints in the end. I swapped them all for sprints. Maybe I shouldn't have. But it worked well before.
More penetrative, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to. I've got some tokens, so I'm going to swap one of them, and I'll just put some MDSs on one ship, and see if that makes a difference later on when they repair.
Okay. Does anybody in the
But also remember that I took out those other ships, so it didn't have the ships in there either.
Yeah,
so
that could be a huge difference.
Yeah.
That could be the hour's difference, not having those ships, having the splash, hitting them.
Well, I'll be.
Also, I've got to go. Drop off these kids.
See ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Later, Essie.
See ya.
I guess we've all got this week to try different builds and tests and see what seems to work.
Yeah. Or wait for them to adjust it in some way and then realize, maybe that wasn't the way to go. So, yeah. So, is there anything else we have to discuss? I can throw an invite on the screen as far as if anybody would like to join. If you have something to say that you want to have on the live show, let me know. Put it in the chat on the side, but this will get you on the show. And but otherwise, I'm thinking we've got an hour.
The end. It sure is.
Yeah. So magically, I figured that out. So if nobody else has much else to add, let's see. Somebody jump in. Yes. Stormcatcher jumped in. Okay, I'm going to do some shuffling. 1 second. Since Aussie walked away. There he is move and add. All right, Stormcatcher, I've added you in.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, a little low. You can speak up a little bit, but we can hear you.
All right. I was just popping in here for a minute. I didn't see them hit the 131, but I hit one earlier and took 5 hours of damage on it.
Wow.
Well, that's no armor on it, so I was figuring that much.
Well, we've been talking as far as nobody that hit the target on the show had armor, and they took 3 hours and 3 hours and 20 minutes. Aussie, who also cleaned out the ships using fang tooths, he took about 2.5 hours, but he had 1 or 2 armors on each one of his ships. So I'm not sure if the armor makes a huge difference. And at this point, with the number of variables going on, I don't know that we know what's making all the differences.
That's kind of funny because I fanged one out. When I went out, went back in, all the ships were still there, like it respawned itself. So unless there was two of them stacked on top of each other and I didn't know it.
It could be the case. I mean, it's they've done worse things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did almost 19 million in the raid. Got a few things that I wanted and I needed, but it wasn't quite everything that I needed. And that's what I did in that.
You were using the steelfish mostly, or the silverfish mostly.
I was using all my ships when
Okay.
when the silverfish was in repairing. I used my Apollos to hit the 40s,
Mm-hmm.
and I also was using the my bat rays and taking out those targets. But when I put in for repairs, I just went straight for the Apollos and did use those while they're repairing.
Okay. Yeah, I concentrated on the 116 and the 118, and for the big reason I did that uh, was for the shards to get the tyrant, the tyrant cannon, and it wasn't mainly for the damage; it was mainly for the weight. And now I'm a little bit. I don't know. I'm not as pressed, I think, to get as many of them for the weight, because we see that the newer armors that are coming out are way less and way more effectual. And it doesn't appear that this is going to become a weight limited ship.
Well, I didn't get the Tyrant. I got the other cannon, whatever.
No, but if you hit the 116 and the 118 and the 900,
Yeah.
you were automatically getting shards.
Well, yeah, I did hit the few of those,
Mm-hmm.
but due to being they wasn't upgraded, so I was taking major damage. So I had to put them in for night repairs after hitting the
Okay.
900.
Okay.
Well, since you're about to shut the show down, I guess I will let you go, and so we can let everybody go. Nice
All
talking
right.
to everybody.
Good talking to you as well.
Thanks for touching.
All right, see y'all later.
See you
later.
All right, bye.
All right. And I will shut it down unless somebody else wants to join. There's one extra spot here. I'm not sure if more than one person wants to join the after show. On Friday, I started up the hangouts for that, so we can have 10 on simultaneously. But we don't seem to have any restrictions right now at this point. So feel free to join, and if not, we'll see y'all on Friday when we'll probably know a little bit more about the new FM target. And we will be in the middle of VXP weekend, and we should know more about the upcoming targets associated with the Dragoon and what we'll be seeing in a month or so. So, hope you all have a good week, and see you on Friday.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Later, people.